This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Poverty, a concern in PNG's urban centres. Joint police investigations into PNGDF shootout incident. And the first ever climate resilient Wharf commissioned in Alotau. Good evening, you're watching National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. PNG is facing the development challenges of poverty in urban centres that is robbing people of their dignity, potential and their lives in some cases. This is according to the National Research Institute Spotlight Volume 16 by Senior Research Fellow Dr. Philip Kavan.
According to the research, poverty is becoming an issue of major concern, especially in the urban areas of PNG, yet it is difficult for people to admit that poverty exists in the country. This is due to traditional social values and kin-based society takes care of those in need. Those who have more always assist those in need. However, Dr. Philip Kavan says this traditional support system is breaking down gradually.
The poverty situation in PNG is threatening, and the progress towards several national development targets and sustainable development goals. To reduce poverty, one must understand the needs and views of the poor, then prioritize poverty reduction strategies.
He says children, youth and women are mostly affected due to lack of jobs, no land for farming, no access to education and lack of other basic services in the urban centers.
No access to education, water supply, healthcare, transport and markets, lack of skills and training in small business management and better access to capital, credit, markets and transport, and absence of social care for elders, single parents, disabled people and other disadvantaged groups.
According to government of PNG, 2002, a definition of poverty was drafted as lack of access to economic and financial growth opportunities and the inefficient delivery of basic services. Dr. Philip Kavan stressed that poverty is a complex issue that needs many different solutions. Therefore, the government, church, NGOs, and communities all have a role to play to help improve the lives of disadvantaged or poor people.
Well, my recommendation would be, number one is the jobs, create more jobs and other means for youth to earn cash. Number two would be land, provision of access to land for farming. And number three would be basic services, access to education, water, supply, healthcare, transport, meaning roads and public transport services, and markets. The other one is
Estagane, National EMTV News.
Senior Research Fellow at the National Research Institute, Dr. Philip Kavan, said lack of government services with no proper development into remote areas of Papua New Guinea is the major factor that has pushed people to migrate from rural areas into the towns and cities. He says this leads to overpopulation and poverty in the urban centers of PNG.
Papua New Guinea is a resource-rich country with oil, gas and gold reserves, as well as fertile land capable of producing high crop yields. However, access to basic services is a major challenge in the rural areas. For those who lived in the isolated districts, basic services are hard to come by, leading to multiple problems that push more people to migrate to towns and cities. This was further explained by Dr. Philip Kavan.
Clear evidence of the felt need is not met. There's no basic services in terms of social and economic situation that they're facing in the village. And so they all come into the city, towns, thinking that the bright lights are there, we will go and survive there. But to their surprise, when they come here, they find out that they cannot able to satisfy their needs. And so you will see a lot of informal activities that is going on the street. That's just a clear sign of poverty. And they, whether in a legal way or illegal way, they try to do things to survive.
He is urging the government to bring the basic services right into remote areas of their electorates to avoid people migrating into the towns and cities.
We have to do more to try to discourage them from coming to the cities or towns by meeting their needs at the rural level.
Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Yesterday saw the commissioning of the first ever climate change resilient Wharf in Papua New Guinea, which is in Milne Bay Province. The 36.7 million Kina project is an initiative of the Climate Change and Development Authority through its Building Resilience to Climate Change project and is funded by the Asian Development Bank and the Australian government through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Led by Papua New Guinea's Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, together with the Asian Development Bank Country Director for Papua New Guinea David Hill and Australian High Commission's Minister Councillor Paul Lehman, the commissioning ceremony involved ribbon cutting and a tour of the completed wharf. PNG's Deputy Prime Minister said the new Alotau Wharf will be more resilient to climate change and that it will serve as a model for climate-proofing infrastructure in PNG. He also added that the improved wharf will open up Alotau's access to new markets, supporting private sector investment. Built alongside the former one, the new wharf is elevated high enough to minimize wave and debris damage on the underside and includes peelings able to withstand earthquakes. Australian High Commission's Minister Council Paul Lehman expressed that this project demonstrates their commitment to investing in quality, purpose-built and climate-resilient infrastructure that meets the needs of communities. Natasha Ovoy, National EMTV News.
Police have commenced investigations into the Kupiano incident involving PNG Defence Force soldiers. Acting Commander of NCD and Central Chief Superintendent Laimo Asi said a joint police and PNGDF military police investigation team have been sent to the site to establish circumstances leading up to the shootings.
Acting Commander Laimo confirmed that a total of 12 suspects have been arrested and police officers working on this case have now identified the soldier responsible for discharging live ammunition, killing 2 of his comrades and injuring another 3, including a civilian. Acting Commander Asi said details of the suspect implicated in the shooting will be released to the public once he is criminally charged by the investigation team. While describing this incident as unprecedented, he said this is a first-of-its-kind incident where soldiers were killed in training in a friendly fire by their own forces. Detailed findings, including liquid samples from the main suspect and further investigations, should determine whether the prime suspect was intoxicated or drugged when the shootings occurred. The findings should bring some closure to the grieving families and relatives. For now, police investigations continue. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Governor for Southern Highlands Province has won the election petition filed against him by petitioner Peter Nupiri. The Court of Disputed Returns ruled its decision today at the Waigani National Court. The matter of disputed return for the Southern Highlands provincial electorate between the petitioner Peter Nupiri and William Powie as first respondent and Electoral Commission of Papua New Guinea as second respondent. Presiding over the matter was Justice Miviri in his ruling on the objections to competency filed by Powie and Electoral Commission. The argument of both these respondents was on Section 209 of the Organic Law on National and Local Level Government Elections, which is that the petition was filed on September 23, 2022, which was 8 days after the deposit of the security deposit made on the 15th of September 2022. The petition did not comply with being filed on the same time. Hence, that is a breach of Section 209 on the Organic Law on National and Local Level Government Elections. Justice Miviri, upon sufficient evidences provided by the respondents, dismissed the petition. Governor Powie expressed his utmost gratitude to his lawyer, Baniamai, for representing him in court.
I want to place on record thank you to Alan Baniama, very faithful lawyer, who has represented me since 2012, election petition case. After I won to be the governor for Southern Highlands in 2012, I've been in election petition since. 2017, we've gone through a lot of destructions, election-related violence in Mendi, but I persisted and survived through court for 5 years. Then 2022, another mayhem, politics-related violence in Mendi. But that did not stop everything. Thank you for the people of Southern Highlands who remain persistent and have patience to stay with me all the way through.
National EMTV News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Governor for Southern Highlands Province, William Powie, has called on the people of Southern Highlands to participate in the development of the province. He made his statement after winning the election petition filed against him. An emotional Governor Powie described his political journey as one with court battles. He was relieved after the dismissal of the Southern Highlands electorate petition.
Like talk several people of Southern Highlands also, me stop 3-term governor, but no been one time me stop office peacefully. 5 years me work go court, another 5 years we go heavy. Now this time too me go through long, plenty heavy. I think.
Powie elaborated on the way forward for development of his province.
So me like appeal on all people along Southern Highlands, let's get organized and let's go and focus on rebuilding our province. Let the people of Southern Highlands feel what we can do for them. Enough long violence, enough long challenge, because plenty of time you blow challenge too, you blow come underneath long display, long name blow people, now you blow bagram people yet.
The management of Jalibu District Hospital in Southern Highlands Province has threatened to close the hospital next Monday. This is because people have not listened to the hospital management to remove their markets around the hospital fence, near the gates, and within the premises.
A public notice was recently issued by the hospital management through the officer in charge that if people continue to defy calls to move by Monday, health services will be closed. The hospital management raised concerns that relevant authorities, like the District Development Authority CEO, police, town mayor and the ward councillor were notified to have the people moved, but nothing has been done so far. This newsroom contacted local Jalibu Pangia MP Peter O'Neill on the matter, but he has yet to respond. However, Southern Highlands Provincial Administrator Jerry David, when responding to the issue, says bad attitude was killing the province and people needed to change. It is understood that during emergencies, vehicles, especially ambulances, may speed into or out of the gates at any time. Hence, the entrance to the hospital was not a place for vendors and customers to gather. Natasha Ovoy, National, EMTV News.
Sepik River Crocodile Festival is now registered under the National Cultural Commission as an event. Today, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, E.C. Henry Leonard, and NCC Executive Director Stephen Kilanda presented a certificate to the Sepik River Crocodile and Arts Festival Committee and also presented funding support to stage the 2023 festival.
This station is a nice station.
In a small but yet significant event held today in Port Moresby, Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, E.C. Henry Leonard, pointed out that the Sepik River Crocodile and Arts Festival does not receive support from National Cultural Commission as it was not recognized. However, today a certificate was presented to the committee to recognize this cultural event.
And Arts Festival is now registered.
A 10,000 kina funding support was also presented to the festival committee to stage the 2023 festival. Minister Leonard expressed that the crocodile was important to the Sepik River people as crocodile has a special bond with the people.
How can we develop tourism? We all need to go back to our culture and our people. And when we do that, we have to see it in a holistic view. And to see it holistically, we must also include or infuse into the program what people use every day in their life. And for the Sepik, the crocodile is integrated into their daily life.
The National Cultural Commission Executive Director, Stephen Kilanda, highlighted the significance of crocodile with the people and the need for it to be preserved. Therefore, NCC will continue to support the event.
If the environment, the animals, crocodiles are not there, there is no culture. So the culture and the environment and the animals, they complement each other. So we would like to, on behalf of the National Cultural Commission and the board, I would like to congratulate you and say thank you to people of Amputi for putting up this festival. As National Cultural Commission, we will continue to support this very important festival.
Representing the Sepik River Crocodile and Arts Festival Committee, Jacob Marek was honored to receive the certificate on behalf of the committee and acknowledged everyone for their support.
Today is a milestone for the Sepik River Crocodile and Arts Festival event. And I'm glad to be here, and we are looking forward that the event will be hosted again this year. And also want to thank the sponsors, good sponsors that have been faithfully with us and supporting us over the 15 years.
Sepik River Crocodile Festival was first held in 2007. This will be the 15th festival held from the 5th to the 7th of August 2023 in Ambunti Station in Wewak, East Sepik Province. Natasha Ovoy, National, EMTV News.
Inmates of the Minimum Security Unit were at Koki Market today doing outreach awareness about life in prison. The inmates were given an opportunity to talk about their own experiences and to encourage the general public, especially youths, to refrain from bad behavior and strive to become productive citizens of the country.
Koki Market, known as one of the notorious suburbs in the city with frequent clashes occurring mainly at the bus stop, was packed to capacity this morning by curious onlookers. These are enthusiastic inmates from the minimum security unit at Bomana Prison. Part of their rehabilitation program is to go out to public places as such and make awareness of life in prison based on their own experiences. Miriam is one of these inmates who took the opportunity to encourage fellow womenfolk. Her encouragement was simply for women to walk away from violence. Basing on her own experience, she called on all womenfolk throughout the country affected by physical, mental, and emotional violence to simply walk away and do not take law into their own hands. The inmates talked about abuse of all sorts, including violence, drug, and alcohol abuse. This prison ministry is a planned outreach activity that is being organized by CS officers, preparing inmates to return back to their society and be involved when released. However, there is a need that these inmates have, especially if this prison ministry outreach program is to expand and be successful to both the inmates and communities as well.
At the moment now we have no transport. We are still hanging around, so looking for help to assist us to bring the prisoners to make this prison ministry must become accessible.
Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
In its inaugural half-year, Project Yumi Inc.'s Project Walk 2023 program has already positively impacted and empowered 639 young Papua New Guineans with the skills they will need to transition from education into the workforce. The corporate sponsor, Credit Corporation, hosted an event yesterday evening in Port Moresby for business leaders and senior HR practitioners to highlight the program's success stories.
The Project Walk 2023 program is sponsored by Credit Corporation, supported by IEA College of TAFE and the Yan Pom Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Project Walk coordinator Don Robinson elaborated on the event.
The real purpose of tonight's event is to give our business leaders and senior HR practitioners the opportunity to meet with some of our Project Walk graduates, the school principals of the schools who are participating in the program, and also some of our volunteer mentors.
The Project Walk program also aims to offer work experience and internship opportunities for program graduates. Don gave a brief on their success thus far.
But the 7 students who attended the program who were looking for work have now successfully been employed by Credit Corporation into entry-level roles in the organisation. They've all passed their probationary periods, and some of them have now started to take advantage of the opportunities that working in a large organisation presents, and they have been successfully placed into more senior roles.
The program hopes to empower young Papua New Guineans in building sustainable skills that will help them create foundations for a successful career and future. Amanda Ilaitia, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2800 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, Yokina was buying $0.2725 US, $0.4083 Australian dollars, $0.2426 euro, 38.89 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, copra closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National MTV News. A mother of two was concerned about her husband's welfare in the detention center at Bomana as he was assaulted. Betty Sampson said her husband Sumo Hossain is of Bangladesh origin and was detained the second time, the first being in 2020 for overstaying his visa.
With the current economic situation faced in the country, the challenge of looking after a family is a burden to her as she is a housewife with two toddlers. Betty relies on her husband to provide for the family. Therefore, Betty is concerned about her husband's welfare at the detention center.
Second detained blogan lo now na all paiti mem all sample officers or paiti mem na bisi mem now inside staff inside the detaining center now staff me no go looking mem to me no go visiting mem now almost 3 months.
Betty is not aware of the reasons for her husband's second arrest 3 months ago.
First detained blogan or making most mem overstaying na staff. So overstaying blogan em go lol charge blogan em go stop 6 months lo. Bomana. Em go stop na been come out law. Last 2 years ago, I've been come out na mibla been stop. Mibla stop lo. Shot him out all documents lo na mibla stop lo and now I'm silent o kam oli mem o se mino save. Why all oli mem now I'm mino save too. One em recent blow olim blow and mino so se mem lompla time.
She is appealing to responsible authorities to assist her as her husband is the breadwinner. Meantime, Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority was contacted but is yet to release a statement. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
The much-anticipated Pepsi Winner Ford Ranger winner, organized by Pepsi PNG of the Pacific Industries, has announced its lucky winner for the Southern region this afternoon. On hand to announce the winner was then Deputy Governor for NCD, Daddy Toka Jr.
In a small yet significant occasion this afternoon at the Pepsi Pacific Industries head office at 6 Mile, the winner for the Southern region was drawn.
You have won the Ford Ranger.
According to Christine Miria, Trade Activation Manager, the promotion started at the beginning of April this year and ran for 3 months until the 30th of June. Pacific Industries, the manufacturer and distributor of Pepsi products, plus other products in PNG, has continuously provided high-quality products. Company director took the opportunity to elaborate further on the history of Pacific Industries.
We've been operating and manufacturing in Papua New Guinea since 1936, when my grandfather started our first factory in Rabaul Town, pre-World War II.
Winner for Southern Region, Benjamin Petrus, who bought 3 Pepsi cans in this competition, has won this brand new Ford Ranger for the Southern Region.
Before it rains, I'd like to announce the first winner for the Southern Region Ford Ranger. It's Benjamin Petrus. Okay, Benjamin.
Draws for Momase, NGI and the Highlands regions respectively will be done in the coming days. Lindy Suharupa, National MTV News.
And now moving to overseas news now. And today marks 45 years since the Solomon Islands gained independence from the British government. Today, islanders took the streets and celebrated in numbers.
It's really happening here right behind me, as you can see. I've also got my little flag here to join in the celebrations. But what we're expecting is thousands more to join in these celebrations today, starting off with this float parade. And we're expecting more at the Los Santama Stadium. So much color, and one can really guess. In fact, Lisa, you might be able to guess what the national colors are for Solomon Islands. Definitely not red, but it's blue, yellow, and green. And with me here, joining the part of the celebrations, I have a guest with me. This is Jairus. Thanks for joining us. How does it feel like to be a Solomon Islander today, Jairus?
Hi, thank you very much. I feel great. I feel very, very proud of this nation. I myself, as a Solomon Islander, I'm proud.
definitely, and many more proud Solomon Islanders here. Thank you so much, Jairus. More proud Solomon Islanders here, part of the float parade. And we've been told by the organizers that this will be bigger and better since the pandemic disruptions a few years ago. But definitely want to be looking out for later today. But Solomon Islands is known as the Happy Isles, and despite the difficulties and challenges that this country has faced, today is it's celebrations that many Solomon Islanders will keep close to heart. And Solomon Islanders today will be celebrating the vast diversity of cultures in the country. Among the 9 different provinces, there will be different shows displayed here in Honiara, to just really show how unique Solomon Islands is to the rest of the world.
Mobile phones will be banned from Queensland state schools from next year. Until now, Queensland was the only Australian state not to impose phone rules in state schools.
We want to make sure that we continue our nation-leading anti-cyberbullying work that we've been doing, and I think this will lend a hand to that. And once again, commendation to our principals and school leaders. But from term 1, we will have a uniform approach.
It's early days, of course, but we know it'll be a blanket ban. So it's covering the whole day, like we said. We know it'll cover those break times as well. So kids won't be able to have their phones at state schools for the entirety of the day. That also will apply to smartwatches because, of course, they function a lot like phones. So same thing, they'll be taken from kids at the start of the day. We also know that there'll be exclusions that are made for children who need their phones or those smartwatches for health reasons and also for education reasons as well. Minister Grace said this morning that Queensland will be working with other states as well, like New South Wales, who'll be implementing a similar ban later this year to look at their guidelines and create some fluidity between the states in Australia. And we also know that this won't apply to non-government schools in Queensland. But the Minister this morning, she said that, look, 95% of schools already have some sort of phone ban in place.
Twitter has threatened to sue Facebook over Meta, its new social media platform, Threads. More than 30 million people have signed up to Threads so far.
A microblogging site seen as a rival to Twitter that includes the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Twitter has accused Meta of hiring former employees who have access to trade secrets and confidential information, but Meta says no one on the Threads team is a former Twitter employee. Mr. Musk has alienated users and advertisers with a range of changes, including limiting the amount of posts that users can read.
National EMTV News continues after the break with Trukai Sports. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. And PNG Tourism Promotion Authority yesterday announced professional rugby player and Melbourne Storm centre Justin Olam as the new PNG Tourism Brand Ambassador.
Following the need to boost the PNG tourism industry after the COVID-19 pandemic, the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority CEO, Eric Mossman, yesterday made the announcement of the new PNG Tourism Brand Ambassador.
So let me begin. On behalf of the management, the board and the staff of the Tourism Promotion Authority, I am pleased to officially announce Papua New Guinea's Tourism Brand Ambassador, Justin Olam. We have traveled to PNG this week to start working with PNG TPA team on a planned activity and campaign for this year.
The CEO further announced what's ahead for the Melbourne Storm Centre.
Justin Olam will be engaged as our brand ambassador for a period of 12 months. In the coming days and months, we will be developing content for our tourism ambassador campaign across the country. Our marketing campaign messages involving Justin Olam will take the form of TV, online video, and print media.
The 29-year-old renowned Papua New Guinean rugby player expressed his gratitude for such an opportunity to represent his country. Olam said he was excited to see more of Papua New Guinea and stressed that the country was an experience worth sharing.
For me to go out there and see it for myself, it is beautiful, and I can't wait to explore the rest of the Papua New Guinea as well, even though I'm a Papua New Guinean and I've never been to the rest of the country. So I'm looking forward to do that. But in saying that, I want to share that experience with everyone as well.
Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
And in rugby, the Gulf West will go up against the Hanuabada Hawks for the Curtain Racer match to the Hunters game tomorrow.
Port Moresby will witness the Round 17 Host Plus Cup match tomorrow as SP Hunters take on the Bureau Bears at the National Football Stadium. Port Moresby Rugby League competition manager Mackenzie Mino explained that although this marks the second week the Port Moresby Rugby League games are on hold following concerns raised on clubs' non-compliance to register, he said the two clubs are fully affiliated and the players are registered. With PRL being a recognized sanctioned competition, all players should be registered and clubs affiliated to the league. This followed strict advice from the Port Moresby Rugby League Board. Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To overseas sports now, and in the Ashes series, a brilliant batting display by Australian batsman Mitch Marsh carried the Aussie team on his back, scoring a century in Headingley, England.
We were bowled out for 263 on a wicket, Karina, that was pretty green. There was plenty in it for the bowlers, which I think is actually great. Yeah, we were all bowled out pretty cheaply. Mitch Marsh ended up making that 118. Congratulations to him. And then we ended up taking three wickets for 68. So the English side have Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow at the crease at the moment. But this match really feels like it's poised on a knife's edge. Again, if it wasn't for Mitchell Marsh, we would have been in big trouble. Mark Wood pictured on screen there. He took a fifer as well as the English quick who came into the side. 5 for 34 were his final figures. And speaking to Bharat Sundarasan before on News Brekkie, Bharat said it's great when you have someone who bowls with that kind of express pace because it gives you a bit of a different look to the rest of the English seamers. But 4 more days of brilliant cricket ahead.
In the Tour de France, Jay Henry has lost the leader's yellow jersey after finishing 6th place in the 4-hour-long race.
Two-time champion today, Pogačar won the stage in 3 hours, 54 minutes and 27 seconds. Basically 4 hours in the saddle. Unbelievable. He defeated key rival Jonas Vingegaard by 23 seconds. Vingegaard is the defending champion though. He's first overall. Hindley, who finished 2 minutes and 39 seconds back in 6th, lost around 2 minutes on the slopes as those two favourites really showed their class and turned up the pace going up the hills. Tonight is I guess a stage that the sprinters will look to win. So expect Mark Cavendish of Great Britain and Caleb Ewan, the Aussie who finished 3rd and 2nd, if you can recall, earlier on this week, to be right up there at the pointy end.
Alex de Minaur is still in the Wimbledon tournament after coming back from a 3 weeks delay due to the bad weather and defeating Belgium hopeful Kima Kopenjans.
a second round encounter with Matteo Berrettini, who has also made it the whole way through at Wimbledon to the final. He's on the comeback from injury and had done the same in a rain-delayed opener against Lorenzo Sonego in 4 sets. The biggest win for the Aussies was Jason Kubler, who won a 5-setter that went just under 4 hours. The final score there was 6-4, 4-6, 6-2, 3-6, 6-3. So congratulations to them. And Stan Wawrinka, pictured on screen, is going to be playing up against Novak Djokovic. He's, of course, won a couple of Grand Slams himself at 38 years of age, is playing some pretty good tennis.
And tell us about the results in the women's side.
Elena Rybakina, she's the defending champion. She's through in pretty convincing fashion. She defeated Elise Cornet, I should say, in straight sets on centre court. So she'd be really, really happy with the way she played. It was far more convincing than her first round matchup, where she dropped the first set to Shelby Rogers. So really well done to her. Elena Svitolina's also through. So plenty of tennis happening. No Aussies left on the women's side of the singles draw. So yeah, just a few men left in the tournament, but hard to go past Novak from a men's point of view, I think.
And that ends True Kai Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And now looking at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby City, mostly cloudy with a shower or two. Daru, cloudy with rain periods and possible thunderstorms. Kerema and Alatau, cloudy periods with few showers. Popondetta, cloudy periods with few showers and possible thunderstorms. In the Momase region, Lace City, cloudy periods with possible rain showers and thunderstorms. Madang, brief showers, then partly cloudy. Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorms. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Buka, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Kavieng, partly cloudy with few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy periods with few showers. Kimbe, cloudy periods with possible few showers. And in the Highlands region, all centres cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Friday, the 7th of July, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.